All right, I have to do a video. I didn't want to, but this jackass is now questioning why, when we were in Kuwait and Iraq, all points north and south, he says, hey, they don't put on convoy missions, they don't put people that's non-infantry in convoys. Okay. And this right here, guess who those clowns are? Blackwater. We just pulled into the yard just as the Blackwater guys came rolling in. We did a convoy mission with them. Anyway, so this ass clown is now saying, oh, that's bullshit and all this other bullshit. So, and of course he won't tell me what he does, what he did. He's just another one of those guys throwing bullshit out there. I'm going to tell you the reason why that the 63 Bravos went out on convoy missions. Well, first of all, is when we took over for the Michigan National Guard, all these vehicles were just beat to shit. And we had these piles of shit, 11-17s. We had these 11-14s that were just beat to shit. And these vehicles were prone to breaking all the time. All the time. They always broke, no matter what. So we had KBR actually was doing very minimum work on these back in Kuwait, back in Camp Virginia. So the 63 Bravos, they mostly didn't do very much work on these piles of crap because the KBR guys wanted to do it, unless of course there was some heavy work to be done. The reason why the 63 Bravos and the 88 Mikes, which were truck drivers, went out on convoy missions is because they needed a light wheel mechanic inside the convoy to repair the vehicles if something happens while we were en route on the MSR, which happened all the time. So whenever I would do my missions, I would have a big ass bag of tools and spare stuff, spare parts, like fan belts, hoses, hydraulic lines to do a quick patchwork, and wrenches, of course, screwdrivers, Phillips, bolts, nuts. And we would bring minimum of three 63 Bravos or light wheel mechanics in these convoy missions. We go as far as Baghdad to Mosul, Talil, and they took their chance, just like I did, doing these convoy missions. Now this was when we was at TQ during a sandstorm. This was our wrecker. We had two guys drive the wrecker, the TC, and of course the driver. And we had one other. I rode in the gun turret of this gun truck, this piece of shit 1114. These vehicles are so badly worn out. That's the reason why they bring 63 Bravos out on convoy missions. It was my secondary MOS because my primary MOS is 11 Bravo. So since I was trained in both MOSs, they said, hey, we can do double duty on this guy. We can get him to drive the wrecker. We can get him to pull wrenches if something happens out on the road, or he can gun in a gun truck or whatever. That's basically what I did. And there's one of our piece of shit 1117s. And there's the FMTV that we were on our way to. I forgot where we went. I think we were on our way to Baghdad to pick up parts and drive back. So the reason why that, like I said, these 63 Bravos and the 88 Mikes, because shit like this happens. Well, you can't fix that out on the road on this 1117. It got hit by a EFP. It tore the living shit out of it. So we brought it back, towed it. Okay, towed this piece of junk with more damage. That's me right there, hooking it up. And this is at Camp Cedar. So you need us. You need the mechanic dudes, cross-trained, 11 Bravo. And this is our FMTV that we would take two guys that were 88 mics or 63 Bravos. In my case, I was both. No, I mean infantry and 63 Bravo. We'd take it. You can see all the equipment loaded up. And that just tells you how bad we were really well off. I mean, with our equipment. And our equipment was second rate, third rate, fourth rate, fifth rate. Just absolute junk. Just junk. They were worn out. 100,000, 80,000 miles on them. And they've been there. Some of this junk's been there since the war started. Here's what's left of that engine from an EFP hit. This is after the 63 Bravos and the KBR guy pulled that engine pack out. And you can see the crankshaft through there. You can put your hand in there and pull out pieces of copper. So, to answer the smartass answer, here's our wrecker, and we're going through this area right here where some of our men, actually, I think the 82nd was here or something. And yeah, they got hit a couple days before that by a suicide bomber. But this is us down on the main road, main MSR. So, to answer your question, they brought us, this vehicle is, I rode in the gun in the turret in this vehicle. We're in Baghdad right now. And yeah, the vehicle was just so badly worn out. I mean, the exhaust manifolds smoked, and the belts were noisy, the transmission would slip. So again, like I said, they brought us along to with our toolkits to repair the vehicles, or if we had a temporary shutdown. Usually don't stop in Iraq at all on the MSR, but it's happened more than once. We've had the whites had brakes that locked up on their trailers, so we have to get a knife. I climbed under and cut the brake lines just to get the piston to go up to move. I worked on some of these when they blew hoses and did temporary fix. Replacing belts on these things when they blew. We towed 4 vehicles, and then we had to do a tandem tow when 2 of our gun trucks broke down. One of them blew the transmission, and we had another one with an alternator that went out. We actually put another alternator on the MSR, which is no bullshit. We got it up and running, then it would just die again because it was just not enough power to the battery. So we had to end up towing in tandem both of them and had the crews inside. So KBR did not do their job, and eventually we took these pieces of shit, and at the end of our deployment in 2008, we were in country for about 14 months. We took these pieces of junk. They traded them out for 1151s brand new, and we took these piles of shit and we gave them to the Iraqi police. After, of course, we took all the guns and the Dukes and all that other stuff. I took all that shit off, and that was it. That's the end of the story. And we got to enjoy the 1151s for 1 month before we did right seat, left seat to the Ohio National Guard, and that was it. This is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, and to the smartass who made that comment, is the reason why that we took 63 Bravos out on convoy missions with tools and spare parts to be able to do a quick fix, hopefully on the MSR, not stay on the MSR as long. We did not encounter any ambushes when we actually stopped, but we encountered a couple of ambushes when we actually got rolling again. So, and that's a completely different story. So this is your video on why we took 63 Bravos and convoy missions. Cool.